It's your local drive home. Good afternoon. It's Danny, Maroon 5, and don't want to know. Well, it was a huge night at the Arias last night, and to open the show, it was none other than Jimmy Barnes. Welcome to the drive home.
G'day, mate. How are you?
I'm very well.
Listen, I did have a lot of help at the opening of the show. I did have, Diesel and Jessica Marboy with me, so it was awesome.
What was it actually like teaming up with Jess Marboy? Because her voice is absolutely insane.
Well, you know what? She's I've been a fan of hers for a long time. She's a really good singer. She's like a great girl. She's a good friend of Mahalia's, my daughter. So when the opportunity arose to have a sing with her, I jumped at the chance. She's an amazing singer. She's an amazing role model. She's a beautiful girl, and she's like a firecracker. She really worked hard.
Well, she covered one of your songs, didn't she, just recently? And she did a fine job.
Trees, didn't she? Yeah.
She did. Look, I've got to say, you were one of the best-dressed men last night.
That's my soul suit. I bought that. That's a Dolce & Gabbana suit that I bought for the soul cover.
Dolce & Gabbana.
The finals of the year, I'll wear it at the Arias because I just loved it so much. But yeah, that's a cracking suit.
You looked really dapper.
Yeah, well, I had to keep up with my wife. She was looking fabulous.
You've got to say that. You know that.
I know, but it's true. The thing is, I only say it because it's true. She was looking smoking last night. Hey,
Jimmy, did you catch up with Farnsey?
I didn't see John. You know what? We at the sound check at the rehearsals.
Yeah.
He came in later than I did, and I'd been and gone. And then by the time the show came, it was all just too chaotic. But I'll probably have a word with him today. I caught up with Neil Finn, and I caught up with Bernard, and I caught up with a few people. But John and I just missed paths, unfortunately.
I really, really enjoyed the Arias last night because it sort of went back about 20 years to what the Arias were really always about.
Well, you know what? There was a lot of great classic music there, but it was also some incredible performances, some great new stuff. I thought Veronica's did a great job popping in. I don't know how long they knew that they were hosting for, but they were just they're good girls. They work hard. They're really good girls. Flume, it was great to see him winning. Everybody I've seen on the show, I thought was excellent.
Now, Jimmy, you've got a #1 selling book called Working Class Boy that's going absolutely gangbusters at the moment, and you've launched a national tour with an evening of stories and song. Now, this is Jimmy Barnes, intimate and open. It must be a change from building it out for in arenas as such.
It's a totally different thing. I mean. We've been on tour now for a couple of weeks. We've been doing it, and it's sort of at the start of the tour. It was a little difficult because it's very raw stuff. This is stuff that I haven't spoken to anybody about. So it's it's pretty emotional, pretty private.
Yeah.
But the thing is, once I've started talking about it, and in fact, since the book's come out, I've met so many people who went through something similar, whether degrees of it or people who know people who did, their parents or whatever. So I had a tough childhood, but I wasn't alone.
Look, you're a genuine storyteller, through your songs and on stage with your family. I mean, you're very proud and open with your family on stage and everything. But what made you go right back to your childhood and tell the very, very personal story of a little boy from Glasgow?
Well, I started writing it really fun. It was quite selfish. I was writing it it was like therapy. I was writing it for myself. The stuff in this book are things that I've pushed away and things that have affected everything I've done, every step I've made, for good and for bad. The things that made me want to be, driven, want to work hard, want to be aggressive to singer and all that sort of stuff were also the things that were making me drink myself to death I was, so there was a lot of stuff in there that was torturing me. So I started writing it down for my own benefit first. Then when I finished it, I thought, there's a lot of people out there who are going through the same thing, so I thought I should put it out.
Now, this is not your first attempt at writing a book, and apparently Neil Finn came up with the name of this book.
Yeah. Well, I wrote everything except for the title. I was sitting at home, and I'd finished. Just about finished the book, and Neil was over at the house. He's a good mate, and we were just having a chat, and he'd read a little bit of it. And he said, "So what are you going to call it?" And I haven't got a clue. I was sitting racking my brain trying to work out a name for the book. And Neil just went, it's got to be Working Class Boy.
Spot on.
Which was, it was like, of course it does. Why didn't I think of that? It was very cathartic to write this story.
Now, the book Working Class Boy, it's in stores right now. It's just absolutely flying off the shelves. And as I said, it's a #1 seller. But you're coming down to Tasmania with the Evening of Stories and Song. And the very first show that you were launching down here on February 4 at the Country Club is actually sold out. So they put a second show.
Yeah, we're doing the second show in the second.
Yeah.
So which will be really great. You know, I mean, we always have a great following in Tassie. You know, we spent a lot of time touring down there. I've got a lot of friends there. I think it's a particularly beautiful part of Australia. So I'm really pleased to be actually spending a few days there and get to talk to a bunch of people.
Well, look, I think all my mates are going along. But did you know that actually on the 3rd, we've got a little concert here going called LAFM Live, which stars Richard Clapton, Eurogliders, Glenn Shorrock, Wendy Matthews, and Swanee. So, so did you know? So you're on the Thursday night.
Second and fourth.
Yeah. So, and on the actual 3rd, you'll be actually in Hobart.
So well, that's a bummer because I was staying in Launceston. I could have come to the concert.
Yeah, so make sure you grab your tickets at tixtaz.com.au. And just one last little thing, Jimmy, before we go. Mm-hmm. Did you see that they're re-releasing Australian Made, the 30th anniversary of the film?
I did. And you know what? It was a concert that was it was a celebration of Australian music at the time. Australian sort of music had a bit of a chip on its shoulder. Everybody seemed to think that overseas music was better than Australian music.
Yeah.
And I remember INXS and myself, and a few of the management, we all decided we wanted to show people how great and showcase how great Australian music was. So we got a bunch of our mates, the Vinyls, the Mentals, everybody, Triffids.
Yep.
And we all got together, the models, and we decided to go out and put on the showcase Australian music. And we went out and we had a ball on that tour.
Well,
INXS were just starting to break huge. It was a good tour.
Well, I actually went to that concert, Jimmy, and it was absolutely fantastic. Yes, it was KG5 in Hobart, in fact, and
right.
and we talk about the arias last night with a few of the unknowns. I mean, we were watching the Triffids, we were watching I'm Talking, the Models had just really launched. It was just an amazing, and I still talk about it to this day, and I'm definitely going to get it when it's released.
Oh yeah, no, it's awesome. The Vinyls, you look at this, Of that group, I think there's 4 of the lead singers of 6 bands are dead.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible.
Great Australian front people, Chrissy, Michael. It's just, it's a piece of Australian music history. I'm glad I'm still kicking, but I lost a lot of friends along the way. So this is a tough road, this rock and roll work, but that was a night when everybody was in their heyday. Oh,
as far as you're concerned, there's plenty of life in the old boy, yeah. But there's one thing I do have to ask you as well. There's going to have to be a movie about Jimmy Barnes.
Oh, they've been hassling me for about years, but we'll see. I don't know. But last thing I'd want is somebody else, walking around playing me and pretending. I don't like that. I'm not really big on the biopic thing,
Yeah.
But because they're just, you can't capture. You can't, unless you can be really brutally honest in it.
Yeah.
You can't really do it. So I'd have to wait and see if somebody presented me with the right, deal to, and it's about how they were going to tell the story.
I've got to say, nobody could play you. Nobody. It has to be you.
I think anybody that did would have to have their liver transplanted.
I really like it. Look, thank you so much for joining us on the local drive home this afternoon. Don't forget, he's got a #1 selling book called Working Class Boy. It's in all great bookstores right now. And make sure you grab your tickets too to the evening of Stories and Song at tixtaz.com.au. Thank you so much, Jimmy.
Thanks, Danny. All the best.
And this is so fitting. Jimmy Barnes and Lover Lover. It's your local drive home. That was so good, wasn't it?